Hey, not Hank Green here. For those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Josh. I have a PhD in neuroscience, and I'm a marriage and family therapist practicing here in Southern California. Now, this commenter asks a great question about how we distinguish the senses. This is in response to Planet Peterson's great video about separating out the senses and talking about how we really do have way more than 5. Now, here's the reason this is a difficult conversation. How do you separate one sense from another? For example, if we say, well, it's based on which area of the brain does the processing, well, that works for certain things, let's say like touch, where we can kind of distinguish where in the brain that comes in and starts to get processed. But once you get to something like vision, well, some people argue the whole brain is a vision sensor. Similarly, if you talk about smell, that's not localized. Those neurons send information to the whole brain throughout. If we instead separate it by the sensor neurons, so for example, we say vision's the stuff in the eyeball and smell's the stuff in the nose, well, that works until we get to touch, because each type of touch has its own distinct sensor. For example, whatever detects vibration is different from what detects pressure, and that's different from what detects pain. But broadly speaking, there are some categorical differences we tend to acknowledge. So all of the touch stuff going together, pain, smell, vision, hearing, and proprioception are some great easy examples. But where it gets more complicated is what you call a sensation is an integrated experience. When you say that, for example, you taste something, that is a combination of a whole bunch of sensory systems together. It includes the sensors on your tongue, but also smell and touch receptors in your mouth, the mouth feel that we often talk about in cooking. And this includes sound, by the way. What you hear is based also on what you see if you have vision and auditory sensation. So at the end of the day, almost everything you call a sensation is really an integrated experience that uses a bunch of different sensory apparatuses. And I just think that's one of the coolest findings of neuroscience out there, at least for me.